All right, so this is going to be the final review, basically updated and everything else on the Audeze Maxwell. The only reason I'm doing this is I've got a lot of questions about, bits and pieces of sound quality, battery life, comfort, the heat level, and especially the custom EQ settings that you can do with this thing. Um, Am I being paid by Audeze to do this? Not at all. I just want to put a review out there for other gamers who, like me, like the best you can get for a reasonable dollar figure, and that's the only reason I'm doing this is because I think you guys need to know the truth on headsets. Let's talk a little bit about sound quality. In my last videos, I have said that I've gone through about 6 different headsets and tried them all out, and this is basically what I'm comparing them to. The Audeze Maxwell is so far better than everything else I've tried. It's kind of crazy. Like just for example, the Steel Series Arctis Nova Pro wireless is literal garbage compared to this. When I try to turn it up all the way or adjust the EQ settings or whatever in the same games that I played this one with, it just got all distorted and trashy and just lots of horrible distortion. I'm very picky when it comes to audio and video. I mean, I've got the LG C2. It's probably I consider it one of the best gaming TVs that you can have, just because there's no lag. It's just a really good monitor for gaming and even just 4K in general for movies and everything else. So when it comes to audio, I'm very, very picky. I came from the Astro A50, which was very impressive to me, actually. I still like that headset. That's a great headset to have. I know the last one came out in 2019, I believe, and that's the Gen 3 or Gen 4. I don't know. They've had so many different iterations, but it was awesome. I loved the bass. I loved the highs. I loved everything about it. But I don't know. I wanted something different. I want something updated that I could take calls with in the middle of my game. It would pause the game as far as on this and let me answer my calls and then go directly back to the game audio. That's what this does. You connect it to your phone through Bluetooth. You connect it to the the dongle. It does it seamlessly. It's so easy and awesome. It does it automatically, and I kind of found that out by mistake. So it's really, really awesome. But this makes Astro A50, I'm not going to say as bad as the Steel Series Nova Pro wireless. That one was garbage. Astro A50 actually comes pretty close to this guy. I give, like I said in my first video, that one I give about a 7.5 for a lot of reasons, but we'll just leave it there. This one, now that I've messed with the EQs, now that I've done everything and learned about this guy, it's got a solid 9.5. I mean, that little half a point to get it to a 10, I can't even tell you what it would take. It's almost a 10 in my book, really. It really is. So let's talk about sound quality a little bit more. We got literally unrivaled sound here. I mean, it sounds like a $1,000 Bose or a Sennheiser, and it gets loud. I mean, this thing, if you try to crank it all the way up to full volume, you might go deaf. So I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's got 90mm planar magnetic drivers. Don't do that unless you're just hard of hearing. If you're hard of hearing, great. Crank it all the way up because it can handle it. This thing will shake you. Once you get the EQs just right, throw that grenade, you fire off that rocket launcher. If you're in the right game, you fire that assault rifle, you're gonna feel every bullet. It's just like do 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 do. You just hear it and it vibrates your ears. It's awesome. I love the bullet fire and everything. The game soundtracks. Oh my gosh, just ridiculous. I was playing Doom Eternal. Is it? Yeah. It's Doom Eternal, and I haven't played that game for like a year or two when it came out. But I've been playing Doom Eternal because that game sounds amazing with this headset. I mean, just every little bullet, the soundtrack is unreal. I mean, it's so intense, and I would recommend it. It feels like a different game. It feels like I'm playing something different. It's so much fun to play now. It just everything, I was playing Halo Infinite and just slamming down that power sledgehammer that the Covenant, the big brutes have. It just rattles you, and it just sounds amazing. The echo from the bullets, everything sounds so great, and it sounds different than your standard dynamic drivers, which is the cone, and it has the circle and the cone shaped drivers in your standard headset. Let's talk about battery life. So I've played this for about, I'd say, 4 hours straight for about 3 days in a row, okay, without charging. And I haven't noticed any problem. I mean, I'm still at 75% battery life. It says 80 plus hours. I don't know that I haven't tested it. I don't know if it's gonna get there, but I don't think I even need to try because I'm not worried about that. I have a job. I come home, I jump on the game when I get home after work and this and that, and I turn it off after about 3-4 hours, max. But if you're one of those hardcore gamers that are, maybe you're getting paid to play video games. I mean, that's a thing. People are getting a lot of money with really good gamers. That's a thing these days. So if you're, playing for 24 hours straight, I mean, I don't know how anybody could do that, but cool. If you do, then more power to you. I wish I had your life. This will do it. Now, have I tested going all the way down to 80 hours? No, I haven't. So I'm not going to be the best reviewer about that. I just know that I have played for, over 12 hours, and it's just now at 75%. So I don't know. That might tell you something. I will probably start putting this on the charger every night after I get done, just because that's good for headsets. Put it on the charger. They say don't leave things on the charger, it'll burn up the battery. That's false. Google it. That's completely false. If you put things on the charger and leave it there, once it's charged, it has an automatic backfeed. It tells it, no, I'm not going to charge anymore. So comfort and heat. Those are two big things that I'm getting questions about. The comfort on this thing, honestly, it's huge. This thing is big. It looks big on my head. It's pretty thick. It's pretty out there. But to be honest with you, they say it's heavy. It's a lot heavier compared to. You don't notice it. You don't notice that. It's not something that I even think about. Once it's on your head and you're hearing everything, you don't care. I mean, people with, I don't know, maybe a weak neck might notice. I mean, it's not like I got this big, thick, muscular neck, but I'm not having any issues with that. I don't notice it at all, one bit. It's very, very comfortable around your ears. I love the feeling of it. It feels great. I can sit there for hours and not even care. The heat, now I will say this, you do notice a little bit of heat, but when I say heat, I mean warm. I don't mean hot. It doesn't get hot. It gets warm-ish. After about 4 hours of playing, you might notice a little bit of warmth, but that's just according to the user. This is all according to me. Your experience might be a little bit different, but know this, I am very, very picky when it comes to headsets. I was going to send this thing back if it didn't completely wow me in every factor. So Comfort and heat aren't an issue with me anyway. Now I can imagine if you're on there for 8 hours or more, maybe it gets hot and you're a little bit annoyed. These pleather ear cushions they get a little bit warm, and I know that Wicked Cushions is in the process of coming out with their own their cushions for this thing, because they do come off. I mean, just I would show you, but trust me, they just pop off. I mean, it's just a tiny little click and they're off. They're coming out with their own. Wicked Cushions is coming out with their own set, and I will probably buy them just to test them out. However, I will say this, the pleather ear cups that come stock on this thing might help to seal in the sound a little better. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna buy them from Wicked Cushions and see which is better. So finally, we move on to custom EQ settings. Now, so far I didn't notice you could do that on the PC. You can do that on the Audeze HQ app on Android. I'm not sure about Apple yet. I'm sure you can eventually. I don't know. Maybe update me if you can. Cool. But right now, I know you can do it on the Android version. And it's awesome. I mean, not only can you adjust the volume and the side tone, which is basically just mic monitoring, you can turn that off and on and turn it up and down. And you can also do the, I think it's called volume limiter, or what is it called? It's something that basically, like volume protection, or I can't really remember the actual the name for it, but it protects people that might need that. I don't really know what it's for, but it basically just takes the volume down a notch. I turned it off. I turned mine off. It's volume limiter. That's what it's called, volume limiter. And I just turned mine off, because when you turn that off, you get a little bit more volume. And I like it loud. I do. I like it loud. I like it to boom. I like it to thud. I like to really hear that boom, that powerful explosion, and feel it in my bones. So the initial tendency is to crank everything up when you get access to these EQ settings. That's a no-no. I've learned now that is, you don't want to do that. In fact, I was playing Halo Infinite, and the exact EQ settings that I gave you before, I was playing on that, and I turned it up, not all the way, but it was pretty dang loud. And when I was slamming that hammer down, I heard a slight pop a couple times, and which scared me, because I love these things. And so I was thinking, oh no, I busted them, or I broke it, but I didn't. It's just I needed to turn some things down. And in doing so, and in kind of researching EQ settings, I learned that you don't want to crank everything up. You want to turn the other stuff down. And I know that sounds silly, because, whoa, what if I want to hear the highs? What if I want to hear the treble? Well, I get that. That's what I was thinking too. But you got to trust me on this. You turn the other settings down and bump the bass up just a hair. I'm talking one decibel or so, and you're golden. You just turn it up and you can hear it, and it's just so good. And the EQ, I'm going to show you the EQ settings here in a minute. But from what I've learned, this is really what you need to do. Because the EQ settings are only available in the app, I basically have to show you on my PC. I took a picture, basically, and that's here. Bring it up for you. All right, so you can see what I did there. I only took up the bass notes like 1 or 2 and then 1, and you can see how I went down into the negative on the others. Okay, and then when I go to the next one, because it doesn't show you the whole picture, the very bottom setting, you can see how low that is. It's at 0. That's your highest treble. So if you want to do, you know, what I did, that's my EQ right now, and it is basically perfect. I mean, it is perfect. You turn it up, it gets loud, it gets boomy, it gets vibrating. It's like awesome. If you haven't gotten the headset yet, I know that they're on a wait list because it just came out and they were having issues with Xbox licensing and all that. I've waited since January. I bought mine in January and I just got mine on the 10th, and that was on Friday. All I want to do is play this thing. All I want to do is play games I've already played and check it out on this headset, because it's like a different game. You hear everything so clearly. All the everything is just awesome. So just pick it up. It'll definitely satisfy. Now, is it like night and day difference from the A50 to this? It's not going to be like going from VHS to DVD or Blu-ray. It's not quite like that, but you hear it. It's there and it's evident. So this is this is my final review. So thanks everybody. I really appreciate the time you took to watch this video and, you know, put up with me, just the average Joe gamer. All right, thanks.